Hi, I'm Mark Michelson, Editor-in-Chief of Printing Impressions. I'm here at the 2017 Inkjet Summit down in Florida. We're here actually at the last day of the event. I have with me Dave Johannes from IWCO Direct, who is sort of a legend in the inkjet industry, I guess is one way to put it. You were really one of the early adopters, and I'm sure it's been quite a journey from when that first press went in to where we are today. You know, what's that journey been like?
Well, I guess the biggest thing is the technology has just really continued to evolve over the last 6, 7 years, and the leaps forward are nothing short of astonishing at times, both in terms of print quality and the speed of the presses, and just in general the reliability of the presses have changed dramatically since our first ColorStream 3500 went in. We've since upgraded that machine. We've added 7 3900s. We did a trial with Xerox on the side press, so we've experimented around, and recently we added a screen 520 HD, and every one of them have their spot in the market, and all the manufacturers just continue to push each other, which is great for companies like ours.
You know, when you first got into inkjet and then looking to today, are the quality levels kind of at where you thought they would be, or do you think they've surpassed that?
The real quality on these presses, as you know and have heard in a number of the sessions, is really a combination of the ink and the paper. The heads have evolved the way I expected they would. It's the evolution of the ink and the paper stocks that's really made the difference.
Right. And that's really been one of the reoccurring themes that we've heard, certainly at the last couple inkjet summits, is paper options, in some cases the lack thereof. But I know the paper mills have been, working hard to try to fulfill what people want. Where do you think we are from that standpoint in terms of state of the art?
I think the last 2 years you've seen some real focus by the mills to begin to dial in. And I think the manufacturers have made it easier with the better ink sets. I think early on the paper was challenged a lot by the quality of the inks and the treatments that they were having to put on them to get the inks to perform at any kind of reasonable level, especially with color reproduction. So I think the improvements in the ink and the head technology has made a huge difference for the paper manufacturers. We're starting to see paper prices drop in line, not down to offset printing yet, but getting a lot closer. I got a sample from one of the mills today of exciting new 12-point product that will work on our presses for postcard work. So there's a lot of stuff happening. The other thing is, it was a pretty undefined market 5 years ago for the paper mills. It's kind of like we've got this tiny little segment of the market that's starting to take off, and everybody wants us to make paper for it, but we don't know what the demand's going to be.
Right.
So as those things have started to come more clear to them, they're able to put more R&D in, and we're starting to see the results.
Right, so they're pumping dollars into it now because they're seeing the future of it.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be, I'm sure, moving at a much faster pace even going forward.
Yep.
How about from a uptime standpoint of the equipment you're using today versus maybe even a year or two ago? I mean, it's moving fast.
It is moving fast. I would say that, we were lucky to select Canon in the first go-round for the 3500. It was for its generation of press. It was very reliable. We had a very good experience with it, and the ColorStreams have continued to get better, and now with the bringing the screen into play, it also very good performing press. So yeah, the technology has gotten better. The head technology improves, the uptime improves.
So you installed a screen 520 HD.
Yeah, last September.
What kind of drove that decision?
For us, it was to get into some heavier paper stocks. Canon has most of our niches covered, but there was an area where, some 9-point up to 12-point where we're doing self-mailers or postcard mailings, we needed a heavier stock, and the screen offered that niche to us, and so we jumped in.
Right. So it's really was just filling a need that IWCO Direct
Absolutely.
had.
And our customers
And that was
wanted.
the best option for that particular application.
Absolutely.
How has the customer response been?
Real good. To them, it's you know, our digital presses are, they don't really pick what press they go on. They're able to run on, we move work around seamlessly between. They're happy with what we've been able to do with the heavy stocks on the screen. The only reason they know they're on the screen is because it is the heavy stock, but I think we've been able to align our technology, get our color synced up between all our devices really well, so we've got a lot of flexibility now.
Right. I guess it's just a closing statement. This is the 5th annual Inkjet Summit, and I think maybe you've been to
I've been
all
to all
of them.
5.
How has the event been helpful to you? I mean, you obviously have come down here. You know a lot more about inkjet than the typical attendee. But how has this model of this event been beneficial?
Well, I think the real benefit of this event is because it's case study driven, you get to hear a lot of other people's war stories, which is helpful, but it's also one of the better networking events from the standpoint that it's kind of in a small spot, it's self-contained, you get a lot of time with your peers, and because there's so many case studies being shared, people get more comfortable talking about what's worked, what hasn't worked, and that's, I think, very beneficial.
Great. Thanks so much for your time today, Dave.
Hey, glad to do it.
Thank you.